What's up everybody? Welcome back for another day of Momentum WOD training. My name is Brandon and today I'm going to coach and guide you through this Evolved System WOD, a functional twist on traditional strength training using a single kettlebell. As is typically the case with high volume weeks of training here at Momentum WOD, today's Evolved System workout will be a push, pull, swing style WOD. What this means is that you'll be performing a sequence of 3 different exercises, one which involves a pushing movement, one which involves a pulling movement, and one which is a swinging movement. Today's workout will be as follows. You'll begin your first sequence of exercises with a Turkish Get-Up, 1 repetition each side. You'll follow up with 10 repetitions of the halo and finish the sequence out with 20 repetitions of the Slingshot. You'll perform that sequence 3 times through before moving on to a second sequence, which I'll describe a little later in the workout. As is always the case, you can find full detailed instruction on all of these exercises in the premium exercise library, which is included in your Momentum WOD subscription and with our 7-day free trial at momentumwod.com/join-now. Without any further ado, grab your kettlebell and let's get started. 1 repetition of the Turkish Get-Up on each side. Good luck today. Between each set of this workout, you'll be given a brief break, just enough time for you to get in position for the next set to come. For your next exercise, you'll be moving to the Kettlebell Halo, 10 alternating repetitions. For your last set of this sequence, your swinging movement, you'll be moving on to 20 repetitions of the Slingshot. This is an advanced ballistic exercise, and for that reason, if you're not familiar or comfortable with this movement, regress it back to a 1-arm kettlebell swing. It might not be a bad idea to make use of some chalk if you have some on hand. That marks the end of round 1 of sequence 1. Now that you've finished that round, you'll get an extended 1-minute break before starting the second round of the same sequence. In this time, it's important that you're resting in an active fashion. Here at Momentum WOD, we call this fast and loose. What this means is that you should continue moving in some capacity before starting your next round so you can continue to circulate blood through your body, reduce the buildup of excess lactic acid in your muscles, and reduce strain on your heart before starting your second set. The second round will begin the same way you did your first, 1 repetition of the Turkish Get-Up on each side. The Turkish Get-Up is Jiu Jitsu personified in a weightlifting exercise. It promotes efficiency and power when transitioning from a lying to a standing position. This translates to powerful hip escapes, stable shoulders, and a strong core. When performing the kettlebell halo, it's important to control the midline of your body. The bell should be orbiting around the head, alternating directions with each repetition, but the body should be completely still. Brace the core, contract the quads, squeeze the glutes throughout each and every repetition of this movement. The transition of the kettlebell from one hand to the other can be a little tricky when first learning the slingshot. Make sure that you are gripping the kettlebell off to one side so as it passes through the legs, it will leave enough room for the opposite hand to grab the handle. Got another minute of rest before we move back to Turkish Get-Ups for your last round of this sequence. The pace at which the Turkish Get-Up is performed should be slow and deliberate. Stop at each step of the movement and make it distinguishable. Pause, control, and own each position before moving on to the next. Kettlebell Halo is an awesome exercise to develop core power, stability, and endurance. The beauty of the exercise is that it keeps your spine in a neutral position, which negates the negative effects of repetitive spinal flexion that occurs with other less functional core exercises such as crunches and sit-ups. Alright, you're on to your last set of this sequence before you get a nice extended break. We're performing 20 repetitions of the slingshot to close this sequence out. Your first sequence of exercises is in the books. You'll now be gifted an extended 3-minute break before we move on to our second sequence of this workout. Grab some water if you need it, and then continue moving in some capacity. I'll check back in a little bit to let you know what the second sequence entails. Alright, we've got a minute of rest remaining before we start our second sequence of this workout. Let me break down the specifics for you so you know what's in store. You're going to begin this sequence with a pushing movement, kettlebell windmill, 5 repetitions each side. From there, you'll move to your pulling movement, the Deadbug Pullover, 10 repetitions. And lastly, you'll finish out this sequence the same way you did the first, with 20 repetitions of the slingshot. Alright, as I mentioned, we're moving to 5 repetitions of the windmill on each side. Much like the Turkish Get-Up, it's a functional exercise for Jiu Jitsu that will facilitate shoulder stability, core stability, hip mobility, and full body strength. When performing the Deadbug Pullover, keep the elbows slightly bent throughout the entire movement, with the hinge occurring at the shoulders rather than the elbows. If you're extending the elbows as you pull the weight overhead, it will turn this movement into a triceps exercise, which is a small muscle group, rather than using the much larger musculature of the back. The Slingshot is an advanced ballistic kettlebell exercise that will help to develop cardiovascular endurance, lower extremity extensor power, upper body flexor strength, and core stability. Alright, it's one round down and 2 more to go. You're on the home stretch of this workout. Stay focused, stay committed, and finish this thing out strong. Got a minute of rest before we start up again. Few key points when performing the kettlebell windmill. Pack the shoulder by engaging the lat as the bell is stabilized in an overhead position. Keep the core braced, hip hinge forwards by sending the hips back, and work within your range of motion. Don't push it and force yourself deeper into the position, more so than what your body is ready for. Deadbug Pullover is a hypertrophy and stability based movement that is the kettlebell equivalent of a lat pull down in the gym, with the added element of extra core endurance required. Moving back to 20 repetitions of the Slingshot for your next set. Get ready. That's 2 rounds down and 1 more to go. Got a minute of rest before we close this workout out. Windmills are one of my favorite exercises. They're incredibly functional. They'll help to develop shoulder stability, which will help to prevent injury, hip mobility, which is applicable in all facets of Jiu Jitsu performance, and core stability in a functional manner. These attributes will translate incredibly well to the development of your grappling prowess. At this point, you should be intimately familiar with what's to come. You have 20 repetitions of the Slingshot, your final set of this workout. Let's make this last set your best set. Finish this thing out strong.